Lord God, may we be those who seek out Jesus and who are changed in the finding of Jesus, so that we may discover different priorities, care for this world and its people, and live to your praise and glory. Amen. Welcome to my little Easter talk, recorded in a strange location. Anyway, see how we get on. Are you looking for Jesus? Now that's not a silly question. I know you're watching a church YouTube, but actually some people of faith have somehow stopped looking for Jesus because they think they've found him or found out enough about him already. And there are other people, many people, who do not have much to do with the church, who are nonetheless looking for Jesus. And that attitude of life, that direction of travel, of looking for Jesus, seeking him out, is very important. Because as Jesus says, if we seek, we will find. And we will be changed in that process. We will discover that it is actually Jesus who is seeking us out. But when we stop seeking, we can close the door to change. Perhaps you sense in your bones that Jesus is someone special, but you struggle to put it into words, what it is that he is. And I can only say, join the club. I struggle with all that. That uncertainty is part of the seeking. And when we lose the uncertainty, we stop seeking, because our life is about faith, which is not about certainty. And I asked a question about seeking Jesus out because it came up in our readings where the two Marys went to the tomb where the body of Jesus had been laid. Another of the gospel accounts tells us that they went with spices to anoint the body of Jesus, as was their custom after a death. And the angel says to them, "Do not be afraid," as well he might, as they had just experienced an earthquake and then saw him looking like lightning with clothes as white as snow. "Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he has been raised, as he said." And this is startling news. The Jews at the time hoped for a general resurrection at the end of time. But Jesus being raised from the dead now was more than they could really cope with. Jesus had said that he would be killed and then rise again from the dead. But his followers had struggled to grasp that, let alone believe what he said. For what Jesus was saying was too world-shattering. It caused too much rethinking. It meant that he was for sure what they had been suspecting, the Messiah, the long-expected one sent from God. And more than that, Jesus was God come to live among us. And his rising from the dead meant that a new way had been opened up, a new way of living, a new way of knowing God, a new way of finding different priorities and purposes and perspectives in life. I know you are looking for Jesus, is what the angel said. So, are you looking for Jesus? And if so, what are you looking for in Jesus? And I ask that not to catch you out, but to give the chance just to focus on what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're searching for. I wonder if it might be something around these sort of ideas, some sort of spiritual connection. In Jesus, you are hoping for a connection with a deeper meaning in life. And maybe some sort of purpose. Some sort of purpose that connects you with something greater. A connection with some sort of foundation to hang on to and anchor in our fast-changing and so frightening world. A source of inspiration for when life gets dark and difficult. Connection, purpose, foundation, inspiration. I hope you connect with some or all of those. They're certainly the sort of things that I'm searching for. And I do feel that in and through Jesus, I am finding them. It's a long journey, and sometimes I think I haven't got very far. But Jesus feels like the best way forward that I've ever found. And the more I go on, the more he is the best way forward. These last weeks that we've lived through have been deeply disturbing for all of us. Very frightening, very life-changing. I've heard some people say that it's a wake-up call for the world. Certainly made us think. And many of us are wanting to respond by living more responsibly, to care better for our fragile environment. We realise the fragility of our environment. The angel reassured the women that they too were on the right road. Come, see the place where he lay. Then go quickly and tell his disciples, he has been raised from the dead. And indeed, he is going ahead of you to Galilee, where you will see him. So there was reassurance, but also the initiative to keep seeking. Go to Galilee. We have to keep on the move. We have to keep seeking out new and different ways of living, changing our lives little by little to reduce our carbon footprint, to care for our world better, to recognise that it is not only a world made by God, but infused by the presence of God. You have to keep at it, for the ways of human society are to close down on the deeper things in life. The pressure is to stay with our physical needs and to let go of anything deeper. The ways of human society did their best to close down what Jesus was trying to do. No one likes an upstart. No one likes the person who challenges the status quo. The ways of our society were so enraged by Jesus that they conspired to have him killed. They thought that once he was dead and buried, that would be the end of it all. The stone rolled over the tomb was a sign and a symbol of their victory. The ways of the world had won. But the angel seems to emphasize how wrong they were. For he sits down on the stone which was rolled back from the tomb. And I want you to try and imagine the angel sat on the stone. The video telling of the story doesn't actually show that. And I've looked for artwork to convey it, and none seemed to quite catch it. The awesome mystery, it was all too tidy, and safe angels with safe pairs of wings. So let go of the wings, let go of everything. Just imagine the angel in his gleaming garb sat on that stone. For it is a symbol of Jesus risen from the dead and the impetus to keep on seeking him out. Jesus isn't actually there, so we have to keep on seeking him out. And when we do so, we will be like the disciples, like the Marys who went to the tomb, like countless millions of people down the ages, who are finding or have found themselves changed, transformed by the seeking out of Jesus. And you will find the things you are looking for. Not easily on a plate, but you will find those things. For you will find that Jesus nurtures in you a desire to work more and more for justice and fairness and making a real difference by the way you live. To reach out and make a difference for the poorest people in your society, as Jesus did. To reach out to the poorest people in our world. To welcome those our society so often excludes. To care for those who are uncared for. To change the systems which perpetuate injustice. And I think most urgent of all, you will do something practical to reverse our slide towards climate change, which adds, of course, even more threat to the poorest people in our world. So may we keep on seeking out Jesus so that we may find him and be found by him and changed in that finding.